Today on The Boot Guy, we are looking at the Maximus 2.0 comp toe from Carolina. So yeah, it's been a really long time since I did a review on a Carolina boot, because if you look back in my catalog of Boot Guy reviews, I've reviewed a lot of Carolina boots. I really do love the brand. I love their loggers. I love pretty much everything they do. They make great boots. But there's a few things from Carolina that I'm not too keen on, like the 4x4 series. Never really liked it. I loved Carolina Gold, and that goes back way back. I love all their loggers. I love everything they do with a steel toe. So when I got my hands on this Maximus 2.0, I was kind of weary. I was thinking, okay, so they're just following along the common trends of how comfort boots are built today. When I put my foot inside this thing and I walked around, I was floored. They actually nailed it. They have completely redesigned what Carolina means in the comfort realm of comfortable work boots. And I'm talking work boots. I'm not talking about going out boots. I'm not talking about hanging around boots. This is a real work boot. So first, we always have to start with the sole, and Carolina has always had great sole patterns when it comes to traction, especially when you think about that they're building boots that are made for outdoor work and real dirty industrial type indoor work. Their sole pattern, easy clean out, lots of traction. The front and the heel, they call this ice. If you're not familiar with the term ice when it comes to soles, if you look at the video I have out there on the Double H Fire and Ice sole boot, this is the same compound. At least that's my thinking, that this is the same Fire and Ice compound. This rubber, sticky, super durable stuff right up in here is awesome. Now, a lot of the comfort of this boot is coming from the midsole. That's a huge chunk of soft EVA that they have sandwiched into a beautiful 3/4 soft welt. They've welted the boot down with this 3/4 welt. We see a lot of this going on, and what it's doing is it's just kind of holding the boot together so they can glue down these last attachments. It's not the type of welt that you can chop the boot off and you can put on a new sole. You cannot re-sole these no matter how hard you try, because of the type of construction it is. But something that's this comfortable, you're going to beat the crap out of it. You're probably going to want to replace it instead of resoling it. So the Maximus 2.0 has this beautiful, heavy-duty rubberized toe. Underneath that toe, comp toe. And the shank is also comp. So this boot is a full EH boot, passes all the OSHA requirements. As for room under this toe, that's something that Carolina has always seemed to have a hard time with. Either they put too much room under their safety toes, or there's not enough room and you can't crouch down to work, say under a sink, or you got to get down on your knees to do some finished carpentry. It doesn't happen with Carolina. This boot is outstanding. It is the perfect height, width, and everything that's going inside there. When you slide your foot in, at first it feels tight. Walk around 5-10 minutes and all of a sudden that boot feels like it was made to your foot. There is really something about this that just has that feel. So now the comfort in this boot is coming from a system of comfort that Carolina has designed called Overtime. Now, it is a combination of this wonderful insole that has so many great materials that are so familiar to Carolina that it's a miracle that they didn't come up with this sooner, that they didn't build out an insole and a system like this sooner, because they've been using this stuff for a really long time. But because of the midsole, the super soft midsole, because of this insole and because of the way they pad the boot on the inside. They use a honeycomb 3D padding in here. So all the pressures from the day, all the sweat, everything gets wicked away. And something I haven't mentioned yet is that padding goes all the way to the front. So you're actually padded around the comp toe. Now, some companies do it. Some companies will pad that section, but most of them do not. Most of them just add a little extra something. As you've noticed in my deconstruction videos where I chop the boots apart and we see what's underneath the comp toe, if I was to cut this one in half and take it apart, we would see that they've actually padded around there, and it's nice. Your hand can feel it if you put your hand all the way inside the boot. Laces, eyelets, and hardware is something that Carolina has always done a great job on. These laces are those self-locking, tie-down laces. This is that new stuff that everybody seems to be adding to their boots. It has a different type of pattern to it so that when you tie a knot in this, it stays tight. It forces itself against the pressure of your boot to stay tight. It's really nice. The eyelids now, typical Carolina eyelids. This is something that you've seen in a lot of their boots over the last 15 years. It's a basic Carolina eyelid. But the speed lace is a nice aesthetic. It's a good, nice, heavy-duty molded speed lace. It's got a nice round curve through the back, so the laces move through nice. But for looks, if I had to judge it, I mean, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 because it is a really nice looking speed lace. I like to see this in a couple different colors. It could really dress up some of the work boots if we're talking about the way the boots look. All right, it's time to talk about the waterproofing. Now, scuba liner. Carolina's been using scuba liner for a long time. It's a great liner. In my opinion, I love scuba. I've never had a hard time with their liners. I've never had one of their boots leak. Now, I've read a lot of comments below in a lot of the other Carolina videos where you guys are talking about boots leaking. But most of the time when you guys are talking about that, you're talking about something that's 24 months old, that's 36 months old, that's well past the life of any work boot. Now, if we're talking casual boots, yeah, casual boots could last you the rest of your life and you're probably not gonna wear them as much, but work boots, you gotta replace them more often than 24 months. You can't look to a boot just because you paid a lot of money for your boot. You can't think that your boot's gonna last you a really long time. Just doesn't work. Scuba liner, excellent. Waterproof, all the way up to where the tongue is sewn in. So that whole thing under the foot, fully lined, beautifully lined. And what helps a lot too with a scuba liner in a boot like this is the cement construction. So every little nook and cranny has got some cement in there. The way they hold the sole together is done with cement and that welt. So it makes the scuba liner work even better. I didn't talk about the leather, but just really quickly, the leather is really nice and oil tanned. It's not like you would not expect this from Carolina, and that's probably why I'm just overlooking the leather here and not saying much about it, because I expect Carolina to use the best leathers around because they always have. Every full leather Carolina product I've ever held or touched has always been exceptional when it comes to the leather. The MAXIMUS 2.0 is no exception. Even though it's all built around chunks and cuts and backed with other materials, it is still a really nice, beautiful piece of oil tan leather that they started with. Comfort, size, and fit. I talked enough about comfort already. We know it's comfortable. You're saying out there, we know, Isaac, it's comfortable, so I'm gonna stop, okay? But size and fit. So I mentioned about the comp toe. A lot of space in the height, a lot of space in the width, even in the D widths. Now the double E widths, it's gonna be a different story altogether because you have to truly be wide. Carolina has been making 4E width boots for 25, if not more years that I know about, and they're always super wide. So they understand the width inside a boot. They know what's going on. So their double E width, you really have to have a wide foot in order to fit it. If you're just a regular D, feel free. Order the D, you'll be happy with the D because, like I said, when you put it on the first time, it's gonna feel tight. It's gonna feel snug. Give it 10 minutes. Allow time for the overtime insole to kind of break in and spread out. It's memory foam, so it does take a few minutes for this thing to kind of catch up with you and just get your natural shape to your foot. The one thing that's going to go away is the weight of the boot, and I didn't say anything about the weight of the boot because the more times I say that something feels kind of heavy to the hand, and the more times I see guys in shops go, man, that thing's really heavy. Your legs are so strong. Your back is so strong. Boots that are engineered to be comfortable, this physical weight vanishes because of the way it holds your heel, because of the way it holds your foot. That weight of the boot just goes away. So don't worry about how much a boot weighs. Unless you're buying a crappy boot. And these Carolinas, well, they're not crappy boots. It's built correctly and they feel great. So that's the Maximus 2.0 from Carolina, number 2561 with a comp toe. If you currently have a pair of these Maximus, or if you have anything that has the overtime comfort system built into it from Carolina, please comment below. Let guys know what you think about that super soft insole, that midsole, and if by chance you're wearing them for more than 9 months, let us know what you think about the durability of the sole. How's your toe wearing out? How's the heel wearing down? Just comment below and let us know. If you want to see some detailed photos of all the hardware, the laces, the toe, you just want to get a really good idea on just how they put this toe, how they glue it down inside this 3/4 welt, swing by TheBootGuy.com. I'll have all those photos in a nice little blog posting titled Carolina Maximus 2.0. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. It really helps out. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter all week long as I'm out and about testing boots, checking boots out, playing around in the city of Chicago or wherever I'm at that week. I try to take some photos. I try to post the new stuff that I'm going to review a week before so that we can start the conversation about it and you guys can understand what's coming out. So if you're looking for new boots, always check my Instagram. Think about supporting me on Patreon. Remember, $12 a year would go a really long way in keeping the Boot Guy reviews going, the project alive. So if you've got an extra $12 and you feel like spending it on something that's really worthwhile, spend it on the Boot Guy reviews. We could use it. Hey, if you're about to pick up a pair of these, order them, buy them from your local shop, whatever you're about to do, and you've got some questions about it. If you're in a shop and the shop owner or just the guys working in a shop don't have a lot of answers to what the boot's going to do and how it's going to perform in your line of work, or if you're going to order them online, feel free to shoot me over an email and we can talk about it. I can probably break down and surmise whatever it is that you need to know about this boot. All right, till the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.